Welcome back to Pimp My Setup. Today we're taking a look at some 16-year-old setups, and I don't mean setups that are 16 years old, I mean setups that are owned by 16-year-olds. You get the idea. But also later we're going to hear from special guest Jon Prosser, so if you're interested in that, then sit back, relax, and interact, because the show starts now.
It's time for the original setup show dedicated to providing you with tips, tricks, and feedback to pimp out your setup. Hosted by Matt Philly with new special guests every week. Coming at you live in 3, 2, 1.
This episode of Pimp My Setup is sponsored by the Ryodo Shower Speaker. Whether you're in the shower or at the beach, this waterproof speaker is perfect for only $19.99. Get 10% off using the code in the description. Hi, my name is Matt Philly. This is episode number 4 of Pimp My Setup. That means we are officially a month into season 3 and people are still watching the show. So things are going good and I still have a lot of things to fix. The new set is going to be gorgeous. Where am I sitting next week? Who knows? Who knows? One thing I do know is that the first setup of the day is submitted by Dan, who's 16 years old. And yeah, as you can tell by the title, and I already said it, everybody is 16 years old on today's episode. But anyways, Dan uses a setup for web development and gaming. He wants to know how he can add some more personality. You know, the cable management could definitely be better. We see the one photo where it was worse and then you improved it, which is great, but I think that could also be fixed. But again, it's hard given the amount of space that you have. The main problem with this setup is just where it is. If you were able to have it in a different spot with a little bit more breathing room and it wasn't in the doorway, so when you walk in the middle of the night and you accidentally slam your hip into it and you cry like a little baby, that would be ideal. Because really, looking at your setup, there's not a lot wrong with it. It's just the space is holding you back. You really need to try to utilize the rest of your room because you have just really the most random thing in the world. You have the product boxes, the Minecraft posters not lined up, and just utilize the rest of that wall space. I can tell it's a small room, so if you can't move your desk, at least try to make the rest of the room give off a nice vibe to match your setup. And don't use the top of your subwoofer for storage. Really, come on. This was a hard one for me to score, but I did give you a high of a 9 and a low of a 4, making your final score a 66. Next setup of the day is submitted by Even, who is of course 16 years old, and wow, I can't even. Because the name is Even. Okay. Even uses their setup for gaming and chilling and also doing some schoolwork on the couch. Right off the bat, this is an awesome place to hang out and chill and I guess do homework on the couch. And I love that wall paneling behind the actual setup itself. Very, very nice. There's a lot of cool random knickknacks placed all around the room, which I can appreciate. And you also have great cable management, which is really important. Now, as far as things that I'm not a huge fan of, I don't like that you're not centered to the desk. It just kind of seems a little bit odd. Now, I understand the leg is in the way and, you know, it's in the way. You could get a 2x4 and bolt the desk to the wall, and that way you can remove the middle leg, or you can get another leg and spread it out a little bit more so it kind of evenly holds out the weight. But it's really not that big of a deal, but let me know in the comments, is that something that would bug you? I would also be sure to frame the posters and maybe add a real shelf, not that JBL thing you got going on there. And of course you could add a headphone stand and things like that. I was also wondering if you're trying to keep a consistent color theme, because it seems to like happen and then it gets very random and all of a sudden it feels like Skittles and I'm tasting the rainbow. And lastly, the console setup area doesn't really make sense at all because you can't sit on your couch and play a game. You'd have to use your office chair and sit in the middle of the room, and even then it's on such a low table that it's like, okie dokie, let's play some Mario Kart. You still managed to get 2 9s, 2 8s, and a 7, giving yourself an even 82. The next setup of the day is submitted by ERIK, who's 16. He uses a setup for gaming and school and just general use. He also said, don't ask about the banana. Well, ERIK, I'm going to ask about the banana. You want some of that potassium? Now, upon further inspection, I will say that the banana is fake, but I still don't understand why it's on your desk. So let's talk about the setup. This right here is the perfect spot for a desk. You know, the first setup didn't really fit. It was kind of awkward, whereas this one was like, it was bored to be there. And I gotta say, he's got great accessories and really just an overall understanding of what you need for a great setup. I think the cable management is okay. I think that the top is worse than the bottom, and really the top should be pretty easy to fix. The microphone isn't even plugged in. I don't know why. Your headphones look a little messy right now. A nice headphone stand would make that look great. I would also add a monitor riser or mount them to an arm or mount them to the wall. That way you can free up some space for your soundbar. Of course, frame the poster, add another one, or just center it, or maybe even just do a landscape one. And also, one thing I haven't been able to say yet on season 3 is grab a thing of Velcro, take your remote, slap it on the back, put it under your desk, and all of a sudden, out of sight, out of mind, bro. Overall, Eric, your setup was pretty straightforward. 2 8s, 3 7s, making your final score a 74. The next setup of the day is submitted by Ethan, who's 16 years old. Uses a setup for gaming, schoolwork, and occasional digital art. He also wants to know if he should start making everything black and white to match the chair, or if he should keep some bright colors in there to kind of add a contrast. This setup is super cool in its own way. I mean, the brick walls are badass, and I feel like I'm in a dungeon. It's super cool. I really dig the black and white chair, and I almost think that adding more black and white rather than color would work really well here, especially since your bed sheets are black and white. But at the same time, I love the RGB and the color pops you have. So I think that really comes down to personal preference. What would you want to see every day when you go to your setup? You know, pops of color, or do you want to have just this nice black and white consistent contrast theme? The setup really has great cable management, minus where the printer is, which, by the way, you should just get a different spot for that regardless. But I think if we were to see a corner picture where the PC is, we might actually reveal more cables. So I don't know for sure. I gave him the benefit of the doubt here, but from what I can see, great cable management. And another thing that makes this setup so awesome is just the amount of personality. It's just overall an awesome setup. Now, as far as cons, this one was a little bit more tricky, but I think what I would do is basically condense on the desktop just a little bit, just to make it a little more free and give Spidey some breathing room. Also, I think something needs to go above the TV. I feel like it's just screaming for a decal or a landscape print or something, especially because you kind of have a lot going on already. You might as well just fill up that big empty space. Ethan got 1 8, 2 9s, 2 10s, giving him a final score of 92. The final setup of the day is submitted by Dominique, who's, of course, also 16 years old. We get it now. He uses a setup for gaming, editing, and homework, and if you want to check him out on YouTube, it's Dom Wong. So let's be 100% honest here, Dominique. You didn't really do much. You kind of had a desk, you kind of put some stuff on it, and you said, okie dokie, submit on over to Matt Philly. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. You actually are in a great position. A lot of people would love to be in your position. You have these really nice, wide open, blank walls. You have this awesome dark wood desk that actually complements the wall color really nicely. And now all you have to do is make it yours. You got to add a little bit here, a little bit there, slap some stuff up on the wall. Make it your space. Now, I can tell you kind of just moved into this setup because really the tabletop has a lot of random things that should be in the drawer, so clean that off, space out them damn speakers, and as far as the cable management goes, I would say that cable management is definitely hard, especially with the way that left side of your wall is and where the cables are coming out, but I gotta give you props. You actually did take your time and made an attempt to clean it up, and you did a good job for the most part. Now, to take it a step further, I definitely think that you just need wire mold at this point. It will help because you can bring it straight down, match it to the wall, and then bring it behind the actual drawer and do all the fun stuff there. It could look like crap and nobody would even know, except for us, of course, because I told you to do it. But I'm sorry, Dominique, but I had to be that guy, and I gave you a 3 in personality, bringing your final score to a 56. Looking at the final scores, Ethan made his way to first place with a 92, and Dominique with a 56 in last place. Now it's time for the part of the show where we hear from our special guests to find out what they thought of each setup and which one was their favorite. Today's special guest is Jon Prosser from Front Page Tech. What it do, John?
Yeah. What's going on, guys? Welcome to Front Page Tech, the show that gives you...
No, Jesus Christ. Okay, so John, hey, buddy, great stuff so far. Really awesome. The only problem is you're doing the wrong show. So do me a favor, take it from the top, do Pimp My Setup, and everything's going to be all right, okay?
Matthew, I want $10.
Oh, okay, yeah, $10. We're not really making too much money off this show, but, what I could do is give you a gift card to Subway, and you can get a footlong with it. I know you like those, so how about that, buddy?
Okay, DAAN setup. First of all, I love how clean this thing is. I know when I was 16 years old, I put everything that had a power button on my desk just to make it look like I did stuff. Also, the garbage was there from when I was 14. Really love that he's keeping things simple. I guess I wouldn't expect anything less from someone who's into web development. Also, that wallpaper though, f***ing cool. Can I say f***ing on this show? The biggest con to me is that you don't really get to see your personality in this, Dan. I can't look at this and get a good idea of what Dan is all about, unless Dan is purple. I see purple going on. So, Dan, sir, if you're purple, My apologies. Next up, we got Evan, and I am really digging this room here. Looks like a cool place to do the things that you do, which are gaming and chilling, and some schoolwork on the couch. The desk also looks nice and clean, which you probably did right before you took this picture and submitted it to Matt. It's cool though. I bet everyone that submits anything to Pimp My Setup speed cleans before they take the picture. Actually, I take that back. I've seen some of the shit that you guys send in. Couple things I don't like. First of all, that Blue Yeti. I hate the Blue Yeti, and I hate that it's become the, go-to beginner microphone. You guys should be looking at dynamic microphones instead. They're cheaper, and they sound better. Oh, and the random JBL stand that's sort of just existing on the wall. I don't know if you got that stand in a Happy Meal or what the hell happened, but it can go. Doesn't need to be a thing. Now on to ERIK. First of all, ERIK, my man, just by looking at this thing, I can say that this is a perfect desk for holding a banana peel. Oh, well, hey, look at that. You got that covered. I love the general use of the space. Everything on the desk seems to have a purpose and probably gets used every day. Well, other than that XLR cord. Could probably put that not there. Looks like you might have that mic plugged in by way of USB. I can sort of tell because of the one picture with the mic pulled in front of everything, with the pop filter duct taped to hell so it doesn't move around. Here's a little tip. Ditch that massive pop filter and get yourself a pullover one like this. Like $7 on Amazon, if you can get the duct tape off. Other than that, I'd say that there's just not enough life in this setup. A single Minecraft poster, a Street Fighter mouse pad, and a banana peel just ain't cutting it. Usable, yes. Personality, meh. Are you happy, Matthew? Really trying to fill your quota for the use of the word personality. Now we have Ethan, who's also 16 years old. Wait, I swear to God, if Matt names this 16-year-old setups, I'm gonna drown him in peanut butter. Fun fact, Matt hates peanut butter. Yeah, I know. He's fucked up. Anyway, I love this room. Looks dark and mysterious. I'd imagine this is where Batman hung out when he was a kid. You know, before the whole, parents died thing. I love the walls. I love the dark wood desk. I love this setup. This is a great balance of usability and personality. You can tell this isn't just anybody's setup. Time and attention went into this one. The only thing that I wish the whole space had more of is lights, or rather color. Some would say colored lights. LEDs would look super cool bouncing off these dark ass walls. Last but not least, we have Dom's setup. Dominique. His setup here looks like he's set up shop in the corner of a Walmart bathroom. Don't get me wrong, I think the setup is pretty damn clean. Again, I love the dark wood look. And with the plain white walls and tile floor, I was expecting to see cables laying all over the floor, like someone shot the cable monster and his stupid cable guts fell out. But damn, everything here is pretty tight and clean. Also, pretty dope that you play the keyboard. Unless that keyboard is also from the Walmart that you're in. Seriously though, this is one of those setups that just feels like it could be anywhere and be anyone's. Add a rug or something, anything to bring some color to this space. LEDs, posters, shelves, a banana peel, anything. And there you go. If I had to pick my favorite setup of the day, it would definitely go to Ethan because of them dark ass walls. And that's it. I guess I'm done now. Matt, thanks for having me on. Glad we're friends again. I'm leaving.
Oh, okay. He's just gonna walk off. Thanks, Jon, for being on the show. And if you guys want to check him out, I'll leave a link to his stuff down below in the description. That's gonna do it for this episode, guys. Be sure to hit that subscribe button. We are on the road to 200K. And also be sure to hit the like button. It does help. And leave a comment. Should I shave my head? I'm still thinking about it, if I'm being honest. But anyways, guys, don't forget, I'm Matt Philly and you're not. Get out of my face. Have a great day. And I'll catch you on the flippity flop.